In today's Elden Ring video, we'll take a look at even more armor sets you can find in all sorts of hidden places. Being a collector of fashion and exquisite items myself, I made it my duty to find each and every single one of them, so let's begin. Now, the first two armor sets can actually be acquired from completing the same area called the Gelmir's Hero Grave. You need to head over towards Mount Gelmir past Azur's waypoint and head over in the underground right here. Once you're there, you'll have to make your way through a lava room with a chariot patrolling it, so make sure you make use of the safe spots on each side when you get close to it. Be careful at the skeletons as they can be annoying, and try to make your way in the next safe spot when the chariot is on its path downwards, as that gives you a little bit more time. Once you're past the bridge right here and almost at the end of the road, do a quick jump to the broken path on the left inside of the next room. From this point on, head over upstairs and enter the tunnel with the flames coming out to the left, and you'll want to actually hit this pillar to disable it and then go straight, but stop at this entrance in the next room as there's going to be a second chariot that spawns right in front. From this point on, just a bit more left to go, so while the chariot is going on its downward path, follow it and then go into the safe spot on the right side before it moves upwards. From that point on, just head over towards the end of this bridge and then just make your way down to the ledge below, but be careful because you might miss it and just drop off the narrow path. Once you're here, simply follow the ledge below this bridge and then straight up north in the secret mini boss area, and you'll want to defeat this enemy, which will also drop the Bloodhound armor set. And also behind it, there's going to be an immediate second set called the Gelmir armor from the corpse, so you can get two armor sets from the same location. Now, the Bloodhound Knight set, this could have some kind of lore connection to Blight, as he does mention a Bloodhound trader at the start of his questline, so who knows, maybe he was also a Bloodhound Knight at some point. There are also some similarities between these two sets, but of course this is a pretty lightweight set at just 24, giving you 28 points into poise and some resistances, and it also doesn't look too bad. Meanwhile, the Gelmir armor set, this is another variant of some of the other Lindell similar knight sets, though this has a more dark paladin kind of vibe to it, so you can definitely build around it. It's also one of the only recolors that doesn't get to be farmed, it actually drops from a direct location, and it also has more points into poise, 40, at just 4 more points into weight compared to the Bloodhound Knight. Moving on to number 2, the next area or hero grave spot also features two armor sets. The first armor we'll take a look at is the magnificent golden tree sentinel armor you can find by completing a secret puzzle in the Oriza hero's grave right here in the Altus Plateau. Now, if you start from the outer wall battlegrounds near the royal capital, you can easily make your way through the nearby forest hills down by the lake until you finally reach your destination. Once you're inside, you'll want to just make your way as usual towards the boss room, trying to use the resting spots on the side to avoid these deadly chariots. Once you reach the third one, instead of heading over to the boss room behind it, you'll want to pay close attention to this corpse that's resting by the ledge, as you will want to align yourself with it and drop onto the rails below. These will all lead you to a secret room, so simply drop down carefully using all of these rails and making your way to the second room below, and then climb the ladder past one of these skeletons. This will bring you in a new area with a fourth chariot, and what you need to do is to just wait for it to go down so that you can climb up from where it spawned and then take a sharp right in this room with the fire pillar. Once you're here, you will want to just hit the pillar, which is going to also complete the puzzle, and from this point on you can make your way back at the big area with the two chariots. Once you're there, you will notice that the third one spawns and it will enter a collision course with them, which is also going to destroy them and in the process give you a really cool armor set, which is the Tree Sentinel and also the really cool Holy Ground Ash of War. And by the way, now since the area ahead is also clear, you can also head over to the Crucible boss duo and get the Crucible X armor set from them. Now, the Tree Sentinel armor, this is of course the highlight here, featuring a full golden color scheme and some really nice Earth Tree inscriptions on the cape and on the armor itself. Now, this is going to be a pretty heavy set, about 45 points into weight, but it also comes with quite a bit into resistances, so 60 points into poise and 215 into robustness. So yeah, that's gonna be quite a good one, but obviously the Crucible Crucible X set. If you want to maximize everything, it's going to be a better variant, especially for anybody who wants to play a warrior kind of build. It only weighs 37 and it gives almost as much poise as the tree Sentinel, 58 instead of 60, so still a great choice. Moving on to number 3, we already talked about 4 armor sets, while the next one is actually almost 3 armor sets into one, including of course the Nox Monk Armor and all of its variants. You can typically get these from the Nox enemies either in Noxtella or Nokron, but personally the best farming spot for me personally was right here at Noxtella, the Eternal City side of Grace. There's going to be all the types of enemies in this spot, about 5 of them in total, giving you all of the pieces you need. So one enemy is going to be located here with the Maiden variant just by the stairs from the side of Grace. There's going to be 2 more with the sword stress, helmet and chest that can be found right in these ends on the river just by the side of Grace. You can go ahead and farm quite easily. And then 2 more enemies with the monk helmet and chest variant on the other side of the river around some of these ruins. So that's going to be 5 enemies in total you can farm quite easily. Now you will need to farm these quite a lot, by the way, so it's better to increase your item drop chance, maybe increase some of that arcane, get a silver tier mask and maybe a silver pickled foul food to increase that as much as possible. And here is the breakdown of the armor. So they all share the same gauntlets and greaves, but the chest and the headpiece are going to be different. So the monk variant is the simplest for the chest piece, it only features a cape. Meanwhile the sword stress variant features 2 capes, 1 small and 1 big ones. And my favorite is obviously the maiden variant, which has a lot more capes and a lot more length going on, so it fits a mage a little bit better. Meanwhile for the headpieces, these are the differences. Personally I just like the monk variant here as it fits perfectly and it also gives a face cover, so it kind of makes it look like a sort of monk, so to speak, so it definitely fits a mage character. They also don't have much into resistances since these are very lightweight armor sets, but they do fit a spellcaster sort of theme. Now moving on to number 4, the next one is going to be the Fire Prelate armor set, and there's also going to be an Inferno hammer that we can get to match with this. Now to get the armor set, you need to farm the Fire Prelate enemy outside of the Guardian's garrison right here in the mountaintops. He is protected by a bunch of smaller trash mobs, but it's easy to actually take down. You just have to be careful at its fire spells and its oversized hammer, and otherwise it drops the full set, but again you need some item discovery for that to happen. Now if you also want the Inferno hammer that doesn't drop from this enemy but actually from a similar prelate right here in the courtyard of Fort Iliad on your way towards the Volcano Manor, once defeating it, it guaranteed drops the colossal weapon. Now the Fire Prelate armor set is 1 chunky armor, giving a whole new meaning to fat rolling, but it does look great in game. It almost makes me wish there was also a slim version of this, as yeah, the color scheme is just impressive, but as a result it also comes with a chunky almost 59 points into weight, but also 86 poise and 215 into focus, meaning that you get quite a bit of madness and sleep resistance with this set. The weapon also looks awesome and comes with the Prelate charge skill, but you will likely need to have a ton into endurance so that you can have both of these at the same time, because they can get almost 80 into weight if you have both of them on your character. And finally, I love the samurai theme, so here's another armor set in the samurai theme, which is going to be the White Reed set. You will find this in the mountaintops here in the Spirit Colors cave that you will need to unlock using 2 of these stone ward keys. From here on, once you're inside, simply keep a straight path until you reach this kind of like room with a ton of wolves, and instead of heading to the boss room, you will want to head over right here to the right side behind this kind of like resting wolf, and in front of this tree there's going to be a corpse that has the White Reed set with the exception of the helmet. Reason being is because the Okina mask is actually the one that completes this mask, and you will have to defeat that invader at the Church of Repose right here in the mountaintops that also drops the Rivers of Blood katana. So this is basically the upgraded version of the Reed's armor set you get at the start of the game when starting with a samurai. Even though it doesn't have that many armor plating elements on it, it does have better stats than the default samurai armor for some reason. So if you want to have something similar to that but with less plating on it, this is the best set for that, and again it just looks really awesome. But this is pretty much it with the armor sets. Totally let me know down below which was your favorite, and I'll see you guys in the next video.